welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's August 23rd, 2025. Here are this week's top stories. The head of the French bishops visited Christians in Palestine at the request of the Pope. Cardinal Jean-Marc Aveline spent 5 days last week visiting Christians in the Holy Land, quote, at the request of Pope Leo XIV as a sign of closeness and mercy in difficult times. His visit included Mass in Taibe, the last predominantly Christian village in the West Bank, as well as Bethlehem's Church of the Nativity and the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, among other places. He also met with Cardinal Pier Battista Pizzaballa, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, and spoke with a pastor of Holy Family Church in Gaza. He said, "Gaza is always on our minds." In related news, a leader of Hamas got so much backlash from Gazans that he shut down his Facebook page. Bassem Naim posted Thursday, quote, "If death is inevitable, then it is a disgrace to die a coward," closed quote, essentially telling Gazans to die rather than evacuate. The post reportedly received so much backlash from Gazans cursing him that he had to shut down his Facebook page. As of this taping, Hamas has agreed to a 60-day ceasefire and return of 10 hostages, to eventually lead to the return of all hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, however, remains dismissive, intent on conquering Gaza City regardless of any ceasefire. Meanwhile, the head of the Italian Bishops' Conference read aloud the names of all children who've died in Gaza. The August 14th vigil, led by Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, took 7 hours. 16 Israeli children died on October 7th, 2023, and since then, 12,211 children have died in Gaza. According to leaked Israeli data from May, the IDF believes it's killed approximately 9,000 members of Hamas, among a total of, at the time, 53,000 Gazans dead. That means more than 80% of deaths in Gaza have been civilians. Jewish Holocaust survivor Stephen Kapos, who lost his family in the Nazi death camps when he was only 7, is speaking out against Netanyahu's campaign in Gaza.
I watched one particular program of the Security Council meeting where the Israeli spokesperson was about to start speaking and very theatrically put a yellow star on. Mm-hmm. And it made me feel sick because it was a misuse of the Holocaust.
What would you want them to do next now? What would you
with somebody who actually had to wear a yellow star.
Yeah.
This was a misused symbolism. And as for Netanyahu, not long ago he made a statement, I think at Yad Vashem, to say that never again is now. And this is another clear reference to the Holocaust and misuse of the Holocaust. Because those who actually experienced it, never again means something else. It means that never again perpetrating anything like that on any people anywhere.
As of August 15th, for the first time in the Middle East, famine has been officially declared in Gaza, according to a new integrated food security phase classification. Contrary to reports, it's the same classification used in Sudan last year. And in related news, 27 countries have signed a statement urging Israel to allow journalists back into Gaza, who've up till now been banned from access. These countries include the UK, Ukraine, Australia, France, Germany, Japan, and many others. While Netanyahu claims the ban is for safety reasons, critics claim it's to prevent media from reporting on the devastation and starvation in Gaza. So far, nearly 200 journalists have been killed since October 2023. And turning to China, a Catholic activist is potentially facing life in prison for standing up to the communists. Jimmy Lai was in court August 18th to give closing arguments for his trial in front of a CCP-picked jury. Lai, a devout Catholic businessman, was arrested in 2020 for participating in pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. President Donald Trump is vowing to do whatever he can to save Lai. If Lai is found guilty, he faces life in prison. And here in the States, the U.S. government is calling out the UK's censorship of pro-lifers. The US State Department confirmed this week it's monitoring the UK's buffer zones around abortion mills, which has led to several notorious cases of pro-lifers being arrested for silent prayer. The State Department calling this, quote, an egregious violation of the fundamental right to free speech and religious liberty. It comes after Scotland dropped charges against elderly pro-lifer Rose Doherty, arrested outside an abortion mill in February for peacefully protesting. Doherty is among a number of pro-lifers arrested simply for praying or standing silently, including Isabel Von Spruce, Livia Taciti-Bolt, and Adam Smith Connor, convicted for silently praying for his dead son in a buffer zone. In France, a prelate is withdrawing the name of a controversial priest as his chancellor. Archbishop Guy de Caramel of Toulouse announced August 16th he's withdrawing the name of Father Dominique Spina. Spina is convicted of raping a 16-year-old boy in 1993. Caramel initially explained his appointment as an act of mercy. Quote, my decision had been interpreted by many people as a snub to victims of sexual abuse. I apologize to the victims. This was obviously not my intention. Spina was arrested in 2002 and convicted in 2006, serving 4 years in prison. Afterwards, he was assigned to a parish in Toulouse, even given charge over a children's group. And ending on a heartwarming note, the Vulnerable People Project delivered hundreds of cans of baby formula to children in Gaza. The Catholic Apostolate brought much-needed milk Wednesday to the war-torn area, only days after an Israeli bomb vaporized its warehouse, killing 2 of its aid workers and destroying all of its food. Founder Jason Jones tweeted, when you mock the widow and trample the orphan, when you cheer for the persecution of the weak, you serve Satan. God himself has declared that he is the protector of widows and orphans. So to strike them is to raise your hand against him. To turn your back on the needy is to spit in the face of the Lord, and his justice will not be mocked. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup, and I do want to take a moment to thank my French-speaking audience who've been kind enough to send me messages of support. Je voudrais prendre un moment pour remercier mon public en France, dont certains ont eu la gentillesse de m'écrire des messages encourageants. Merci de me regarder, merci pour votre soutien. Continuez à prier pour moi et pour cet apostolat. Please visit stellamars.media and sign up to our email list for the latest news and updates. Thank you so much for watching, for all of your support and your prayers. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.